welcome to Living Between Two Worlds, Scientist by Day and Artist by Night. I'm Heather, Heather the Sunflower Witch. And today we're going to be talking about my life as a full-time scientist with her creative pursuits, like writing, crafting, and this as YouTube. And it's probably wondering why, why am I doing all this? How did I get into it? What I've learned? And this is what this kind of video is about. And so to start it all off, yes, I'm a scientist by day. I'm a geologist. I work with groundwater and water issues. I do anything from looking at the groundwater chemistry to looking at the chemicals that go into it from pollution from companies, from even just being educational content towards water operators, the public, the companies, all of them together. And for me, that is most of my days. Monday through Thursday, I am, working till about 5 o'clock at night, doing all of the groundwater issues. And that means the rest of my night is usually filled with either me relaxing from my day or about 30 minutes to an hour of doing something along these lines of being creative. And so this is kind of like a break from reality or a break from the real world, because I'm able to go through all these and to go through different, oh, I want to write today, or I want to make something, or I want to do some art. I do so many of these different things because it's almost like an escape for me, because it allows me to be creative. And the idea between being creative and then working like a very logical job, it is kind of hard to mix the two of them. So then there's me who does both. And it can be very time consuming. That's something that I've been learning, is how to balance everything. And I am still working on this. It is still a struggle for me, because it is one of those things where having the job is very okay, these days you're going to be doing XYZ. But at night, it's kind of the idea of making myself go and do these, which, to be completely honest, this past couple of weeks, I've been lacking on that. And so trying to get back into those things is going to be one of those that's a little more trying to be put together in those issues. Or not issues, but the types of things that I want to balance in my life. So, that's one thing I've been attempting to learn. It's something that is how to balance everything. Now, probably wondering why I decided to even go through this in the first place. To be completely honest, I have been creating and writing since I was a kid. Whether it was mini stories, whether it was fan fiction, whether it was drawing certain things, being in art classes, all of these different things. I'm going to try to camera's starting to try to fall on me. Anyway, there we go. But all of these things I've been doing since I was a kid. YouTube, on the other hand, has been something of a recent adventure, because as a kid, I wanted to make YouTube videos. I wanted to be the one to go out and do these things. But in the household that I was in, I didn't have a computer like I do now. I mostly had my phone, had the laptop the schools gave us, but I didn't really have a place for me to record these types of videos. It wasn't really until grad school till I had my own setup, because even in undergrad, I mostly used my computer, and I honestly would not have any of the time to do this like I do now. So there was that sort of balance. But now I'm doing these things. I'm making stickers, or I'm making earrings, founding as I'm losing track of my words. I have my own Etsy shop that I'm selling these different things that I've made, or I'm doing different art projects on eBay. There's even just authoring books. Something that my family, my mom especially, was pushing me towards was publishing my works, or publishing my ideas. And I finally went through it when I was in grad school. I actually ended up working on a book while finishing my thesis. And then within the next year, I decided to publish it. And since then, I have 4 books now officially published while working this job. And, I have 30 something sales on Etsy right now. It's something that, like, I'm very excited and thrilled that it has been such a successful run. It has been something that I have learned. I've learned to be able to, balance how someone who's going to buy things from my shop, okay, how do I send them off and make sure that they get there safely? Or how do I do customer service in a creative aspect and not as a scientist? Stuff like that comes across. And I feel like for those, if you are questioning whether like you yourself should be doing something like this, doing something creative while working some sort of full-time job, it's basically what you feel like you can do. And I think that's probably the best as someone who doesn't have kids, who's not like married or anything. It is something easier for me to do. It is easy for me to, make videos or, kind of go about my day. Someone who may have kids, it may be a lot harder for you to do that. But it's something that you find the balance for if you're willing to. And it's something like I've been told this before, which is if you're willing to do something and you're willing to put the effort in, do it. And the idea that the things you want to do will come into fruition as long as you put the effort into it. And it's kind of the idea of when you're manifesting, if you're manifesting different things to come into your life, how are you putting the energy into it? For me, in particular, my Etsy here, I decided to completely haul the shop, and I actually put it on vacation so I could look over the prices that I had and whether they were actually what I valued my work as. And then I also decided to take new photos of every product, like especially my stickers that you didn't really know what the size was. I decided to take new photos of everything just to give it a better energy, to bring more sales, more favorites, people looking at my shop more because I wanted to put the effort into it. And I have been seeing a lot more favorites now that I've put this energy into it. And I think that's something you have to be willing to do. Now, if you're questioning, oh, should I be doing something creative? Maybe I like to draw, but I don't know how I'm going to get my word out there. Honestly, the social media aspect connects you with a lot of people. And I've learned that on my adventure is finding people who connect over your hobbies and finding who really enjoys your crafting or your writing. And you're able to do these types of things and be able to really balance what you want. And it is something like if you're like me and you work something that's very logical or very like, this is where you are day by day, this is you. And then you're like, okay, but I want to show me off. I want to show other parts of me off. This kind of gives you that opportunity. And I think that's something that if you are thinking about a creative pursuit, then being able to just be like, okay, how do I want this? Do I want people to start looking at my works more? Do I want people to pay attention? And something like that actually is a good idea to have because you are wanting to show something creative to everyone. You're like taking that piece and being like, here's the other part of me. Here is my creative thing. Look at it. And most people wouldn't do that. Some people would say, I'm creative, but I have other things to do. That becomes like a back burner. And creativity is actually something that's very in tune with people who are very creative. It's the idea of putting yourself out there, taking that piece that you've been wanting to write or wanting to draw and actually throwing it out there and being like, I'm going to put this out to the world. Or I'm going to put this out, maybe not to the world, but maybe to friends and family. It is something like you're sharing that part out to you. And that's how I think about the creative pursuits I do, is they are pieces of myself that's being brought out, being brought to everyone. And I wanted to kind of make this video as more of like what I've learned so far, but also discuss if you are thinking about doing something creative in the aspect of what YouTube create, doing art. Um, Maybe you do something I haven't even thought of that's particular to you. Maybe you do musical instruments. That's another thing. Anything that you feel like is a part of you and you're thinking about like, should I do this? Should I make an account or should I do something that puts me out there? That's a question definitely for you. And that's something that you have to ask is this part, this creative pursuit that I want to turn more entrepreneurial, is that something I want to do or not? Or is this something that I want to create a community? Like YouTube, for example, is one of those you create it like a community. And that's actually a very like good question to have, is to really look at creativity in that way. So this is just kind of like a little spin-off video of me kind of rambling, me kind of like doing different things and, talking through how I am and why I've donned like the title. It's like scientist by day, artist by night. Because it is that for me. It is the balancing of a day job to doing something creative and having fun with it. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to balance these things. I'm still learning what part of my creative self wants to be out there, wants to be given to other people. It's definitely an adventure for myself and an adventure that I'm still continuing to go on. And if you're asking yourself, should I do this? That's, I'm always saying you should do it if you want to. If you're really thinking about doing it, if you're really thinking about pushing yourself out there, do it. What is it going to hurt? You putting yourself out there. If it doesn't work, oh well, you at least tried. You at least tried and you at least put that piece of you out for people to see. You never know what will be seen and what will be not seen. And that's something, of course, internet safety wise, but also with sharing something creative. So if you guys have like any other questions below, feel free to comment down below and ask me like any sort of follow-up questions that maybe either I answer in a comment or maybe I progress this further into other videos and start to like go through different things. But this was just kind of a spin-off idea that I had and wanted to kind of share with you guys. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave a like if this was entertaining to hear or to have a ramble in a way. Maybe this was something you had on the background while you were working. Maybe this was just like a cozy time for you. Feel free to give me a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!